We've all been there, right? You come home and your cat's done something they know they weren't supposed to. Maybe it's a knocked over plant, maybe it's a gift on the rug, or maybe they just completely ignored you when you needed some furry love. Whatever it is, you can feel the tension in the air, but can you read what your cat's feeling? Believe it or not, our feline friends have some pretty unique ways of saying I'm sorry. Now, I'm not talking about them actually understanding the complex human concept of apology, but they do have their own ways of communicating remorse, or at least saying let's move on from this. It's all about understanding their language, both physical and emotional. So, in this video, we're going to decode those cat apology signals. We'll learn to recognize the subtle ways your cat tries to make amends and strengthen that amazing bond you share. Cats are masters of nonverbal communication. They have an uncanny ability to convey their feelings and intentions without uttering a single sound. They practically invented body language. From the flick of a tail to the twitch of a whisker, every movement has meaning. So, when it comes to apologies, their body often speaks volumes. Unlike humans who might use words, cats rely on their physical gestures to express remorse. One of the most common signs is the classic purr and rub combo. This is their way of saying I'm sorry and I love you all at once. You know what I'm talking about, right? That moment when your cat looks up at you with those big, innocent eyes and starts weaving between your legs. They weave around your legs, rub their face on you, and let out those rumbling purrs that just melt your heart. It's a gesture that's hard to resist. It's their way of saying, hey, remember how much you love me? Let's focus on that. It's a reminder of the bond you share, a way to shift the focus from any recent mischief to the love and affection they bring into your life. Then there's the slow blink, the ultimate cat, I love you. This is a subtle yet powerful gesture that speaks volumes about their feelings. When your cat looks at you and slowly closes their eyes, then opens them again, it's like a feline hug for your soul. It's a moment of pure connection and trust. It's a sign of trust and affection, and often a peace offering after a disagreement. It's their way of saying, I trust you and I hope you trust me too. But it's not always about affection. Sometimes it's about showing submission. Cats have their own way of acknowledging when they've done something wrong. Sometimes it's about showing submission. A cat who's feeling guilty might tuck their tail low, almost between their legs as a sign of remorse. A cat who's feeling guilty might tuck their tail low, almost between their legs, or even flatten their ears against their head. These are clear signs that they know they've crossed a line, or even flatten their ears against their head. This is a more pronounced gesture indicating a higher level of submission and acknowledgement of their mistake. They might approach you with their head slightly bowed, as if to say, okay, you win, no more trouble. It's a humble gesture, showing that they're ready to make amends. Don't mistake these gestures for simple obedience. It's more than that. It's a complex form of communication, a way for them to express their understanding of the situation. It's their way of acknowledging your feelings, of trying to smooth things over. They're not just following orders, they're actively trying to repair the relationship. And that's pretty amazing when you think about it. The silent apology of a cat is a beautiful reminder of the deep, unspoken bond we share with our feline friends. It's a testament to their intelligence, their sensitivity, and their capacity for love. While cats are known for their body language, they're not exactly silent creatures. They have a unique way of communicating with us, and their vocalizations are a big part of that. They have a whole vocabulary of meows, chirps, and trills, each with its own meaning. These sounds can range from a simple greeting to a complex expression of their needs and emotions. And yes, some of those sounds are their way of saying oops. When a cat makes a mistake, like knocking something over or getting into trouble, they might vocalize in a way that seems almost apologetic. Have you ever noticed how your cat seems to have a special meow just for you? This personalized meow is often reserved for their favorite human, and it's their way of communicating something specific to you. It's often softer, higher pitched than their usual calls, almost apologetic. This special meow can be a way for them to show affection or to seek comfort from you. They might even add a little trill at the end, just to tug at your heartstrings. This added trill can make their vocalization sound even more endearing and heartfelt. The key here is to listen to the tone. The tone of their meow can tell you a lot about what they're feeling and what they're trying to communicate. A demanding meow is very different from a soft, almost pleading one. A demanding meow might be louder and more insistent, while a pleading meow is softer and more gentle. It's like they're saying, hey, I know I messed up, can we please move on now? This kind of vocalization can be their way of seeking forgiveness and trying to make amends, and sometimes the apology comes in the form of silence. When a cat is usually vocal but suddenly becomes quiet, it can be a sign that they're feeling guilty or remorseful. If your usually chatty cat suddenly becomes quiet and withdrawn after a misdeed, it could be their way of showing remorse. This change in behavior can be their way of acknowledging that they've done something wrong. They're giving you space, trying to de-escalate the situation. By giving you space, they're showing that they understand you might need some time to cool off. Remember, cats are incredibly intuitive creatures. They have a remarkable ability to sense our emotions and respond accordingly. They pick up on our emotions, our tone of voice, our body language. This sensitivity allows them to react in ways that can be surprisingly empathetic. So, when we're upset, they feel it too. They might come closer to offer comfort or stay back to give us space depending on what they sense we need. And sometimes the best way they know how to make it better is to adjust their own volume. By softening their meows, they're trying to show that they're sorry and that they care about how we're feeling. They might also purr softly or nuzzle against you, using their body language to complement their vocal apologies. This combination of sounds and actions can be incredibly soothing and reassuring. Ultimately, our feline friends have their own unique ways of saying they're sorry. By paying attention to their vocalizations and body language, we can better understand their attempts to communicate and connect with us. We all know that cats have a reputation for being independent, even aloof. They often seem like they prefer their own company, sitting alone on a windowsill or in a quiet corner of the room. This image of the solitary cat is one that many of us are familiar with, but the truth is they crave connection just like any other social creature. Despite their independent nature, cats have a deep-seated need for companionship and affection. They may not always show it in obvious ways, but their subtle gestures speak volumes. And sometimes, that desire for closeness is their way of making amends. Think about it. When a cat nuzzles you or touches you with their paw, it's not just a random act. It's a deliberate attempt to bridge any emotional gap that might have formed. You've had a bit of a disagreement with your cat. Maybe they've been a bit distant, or perhaps you had to scold them for some mischief. Maybe you had to scold them for scratching the furniture, or maybe they just weren't giving you the attention you craved. These moments can create a temporary rift in your relationship, leaving both of you feeling a bit off. Then, a little while later, they're snuggled up on your lap, purring contentedly. Coincidence? I think not. This is their way of saying, "I'm sorry and I still care about you." It's a silent apology wrapped in warmth and affection. That physical contact that need to be close is often their way of saying, "I'm here, you're safe, and I still love you." It's a reassurance that the bond you share is still strong despite any minor conflicts. It's a powerful gesture, one that speaks volumes about their desire to repair any damage to your bond. When a cat looks at you with those affectionate eyes or snuggles close, it's their way of mending the emotional fabric of your relationship. And it's not just about grand gestures like lap snuggles. While those moments are certainly special, it's the smaller, everyday interactions that truly define your connection. Sometimes, it's the little things that mean the most. A gentle pawing at your arm, a soft rub against your leg, or simply sitting close by. These are all ways your cat shows they care. A gentle head boop, a soft paw placed on your hand, even just brushing against you as they walk by. These are all subtle ways they try to reconnect and rebuild intimacy. Each small gesture is a thread in the tapestry of your relationship, weaving a bond that is both delicate and strong. So next time your cat reaches out to you, whether with a nuzzle, a paw, or a simple presence by your side, remember that these moments are their way of saying, "I value our connection." Embrace these gestures, for they are the heartbeats of your shared journey. Okay, I know what you're thinking. My cat brought me a dead lizard as an apology? That doesn't seem very sincere, but trust me, in the feline world, it's the thought that counts. Cats are natural hunters, and in their minds, sharing their prey is the ultimate sign of affection and trust. So when they bring you that gift, whether it's a toy mouse, a piece of string, or yes, even something from the great outdoors, they're actually trying to please you. Think of it as their way of contributing to the household, of showing that they care about your well-being. They might not understand that you'd prefer a nice bouquet of flowers, but hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Of course, not all cats are hunters, but they might still bring you other gifts, a favorite toy, a stolen sock, even a piece of kibble from their bowl. It's their way of saying, "Look what I have. I want to share it with you." And that's pretty special. Sometimes the most sincere apology comes in the form of changed behavior. Think about it. You've been trying to teach your cat to stay off the counter, and after a stern talking to, they actually start listening. Or maybe they've been scratching the furniture, but suddenly, they're using their scratching post religiously. These might seem like small victories, but they're actually huge signs of progress. It means your cat is paying attention, they're learning, and most importantly, they're trying to make you happy. This change in behavior isn't always immediate. It might take time, patience, and a whole lot of positive reinforcement. But when you see that shift, that willingness to adjust their behavior for your sake, it's a beautiful thing. It's a reminder that cats are incredibly intelligent and adaptable creatures. They want to please us, they want to live in harmony, and sometimes the best way they know how to show that is by simply changing their ways. So, the next time your cat does something that drives you crazy, take a moment to observe their behavior. Look for those subtle signs of apology, those little gestures that say, "I'm sorry, let's move on." You might be surprised at how often you find them. And remember, every cat is different, just like every human. What constitutes an apology for one cat might be completely different for another. The key is to pay attention, to learn their individual language, and to appreciate the effort they're making. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new about your feline friend, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cat-tastic content, and share your own stories in the comments below. Let's create a community where we can all learn to understand and appreciate the amazing creatures we share our lives with.